If al-Muslimin were not told that Prophet Muhammad was not circumcised, then they might have done the same thing the Christians had done as far as those who were not satisfied with their religious calendar. And have had a religious celebration and even a pilgrimage of the circumcision on the 8th day of life, on the 19th of the 3rd month. And my comment on 1916 goes as follows. Khirbet Qumran is east of Jerusalem. That means that the Essene teacher of righteousness, well, one of them, might be Jesus. And about 1917 I say, all the El and Ea ending names in the Bible mean of God, and in no way divine. The light beings can disguise themselves in whatever form God chooses when they carry out their angelic tasks. About 1918, even when a woman is not alone, it's natural for her to be suspicious of strange men. It is a good thing to seek refuge with God and to remind people lest they do wrong in forgetfulness. About 1919, it was prophesied beforehand that Jesus would be born. About 1920. This is a hint for later people who have felt that extramarital sex was okay since they were not the active partner or only one who really enjoyed themselves like that in the consensual act. 1921. Thadak II and other Essene groups commonly believed that the initial period of marriage is a trial, not to have children in. Jesus was to make their ways easier, and some would have called him the Essene teacher of wickedness by his going against the new restrictions of their sects. And about 1922, I say, there is the implication that the conception was natural. A girl approaching puberty might worry about not having a marriage arranged when approaching adulthood. Particularly if it was a poor woman. 1923, many cultures have found it better for women to give birth sitting up or standing. Even the most pious of women have to go through difficulties. About 924, this is the first miracle of Jesus or another message from the Holy Spirit, Gabriel. I don't know. Oh, I forgot the word weather. 1925, Jesus would have likely been born in August or September. It is important for us to do the effort for God to do great works through us. About 1926, there was the fast from talking that in the current age is not to reach 3 days. About 1927, if she claimed immaculate or asexual reproduction, it would have been strange indeed. If she got married outside her people's traditions or arrangement, it would not have been the usual thing. About 1928, unchaste behavior is a very serious thing. Whether she descended from Harun, brother of Moses, or was part of the family led by one by that name, or just the sister of one, it really comes to the same. About 1929, carrying out her fast, Mary directed them to consider Jesus. About 1930, Islam teaches that Jesus was of 3 Israelites to have spoken as an infant. Jesus is the only one that declared his prophethood that young, as far as I know of. About 1931, if Jesus is alive, how is he to give charity? The prophets had to keep the basics of religion too. About 1931, about 1932. Jesus was no psychopath. Mary's husband was said to die while Jesus was young in the Bible, but it might have happened before birth, and she thus returned to her hometown with only the child. About 1933, the birth, death, and resurrection of a prophet are sacred events. Jesus can't be the resurrector if he is resurrected himself. His death can't be blessed if it was a murder at the end of torture. About 1934, Jesus and all prophetic examples are to lift the doubts in the revealed messages. About 1935, God is beyond both adoption and the progenitor functions of the earthly creatures. Who else can speak in existence? About 1936, Jesus in the Bible was a worshiper of God and a denier of lordship to the only person to call him good master. About 1937, the confusion about Jesus led to irreconcilable differences between the sects. And 1938, the denied realities are not something we can refuse to listen to when we face the ultimate consequences. About 1939, correct beliefs lead to controlled actions. About 1940, Earth is God's and we'll have to face him for what we did with and on it. And some of these, the message would be different and more detailed if I was concluding narrations, but I am giving the general truths that one would learn from the Quranic verses themselves.